Gamers! Gamers! Gamers, 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 gamers. They did it, gamers. They've done it. They announced Ace Attorney Investigations Collection, gamers. The Mad Lads. They've done it. It's been so long. It's coming. I'm so excited. This is the only thing I've been talking about all day. I'm so excited, gamers. I just had to talk about this. I got so excited. I'm like, I have to stream Apollo Justice today. There's no way around that. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I just had to share that. Anyway, yes. That Nintendo Direct was like actually hype. Like, it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it. New Zelda game with a Zelda main character. I know. Finally, we get to be Zelda. It's so exciting. Oh my gosh. Yes, the Nintendo Direct was awesome. Oh my gosh. Right, we're back. We're back in the saddle. We're back. We're finally playing Apollo Justice. It's been a bit. I was sick, so I took a break. I'll miss my boy Link, but still. Rest in peace, Link. Rest in peace. Oh yeah, it was such a good Nintendo Direct. Been a bit, but we're back. We're back with Apollo Justice. If it would load. If it would load. If it will load. If it will load. What the heck? Why is it a play? Alright. Oh, there we go. That was weird. Oh, it's the blank screen episode. It is. Last time we left off, the judge died or something. I suppose we should reconvene the trial of Solomon Starbuck? Or something?
Objection!
Your Honor, could you please come out from under your bench? Kitty, please. There are no more bombs, I promise. Oh, yes, my apologies. Just kidding, Judge. I'm still a bit jumpy when it comes to trials involving bombs. Yeah. I mean, first the courtroom exploded. Yes, thank you for the flashback. And then Mr. Tennate self-destructed. I guess that's one way of describing what happened to Tennate. Anyway, it seems that Mr. Justice was seriously wounded by Mr. Tennate's actions. So you, Mr. Wright, will be taking up the defense? Do you have an understanding of what has happened in the trial so far? Nope, no clue, Your Honor. Mr. Tennate is such a loser. Yes, Your Honor, the defense is ready. Very well. Is the prosecution also ready? My dad isn't going to work tomorrow morning. I can't sleep in. No. I take it you'd like me to give the opening statement this time? Looks like the judge has become a pretty good mind reader. Well, he's certainly seen more than his fair share of colorful prosecutors. Yeah. You could say he's something of a veteran of sorts. Yeah. Perhaps. Let's see. In the previous part of this trial, we learned that the victim, Clay Terran, escaped from Launchpad 1 carrying the defendant, Solomon Starbuck. There were explosions on the second floor of the Space Center and on the rocket itself. The two astronauts used the Launchpad 1 corridor to reach the boarding lounge. And How could the victim climb down the ladder if he was carrying the defendant? That was the mystery that needed to be solved. But Mr. Justice proved that the victim was killed in the boarding lounge. Prosecutor Blackwell, were you able to discover any new facts related to this point? Upon further investigation, we discovered an oxygen tank fragment in the lounge. Surprisingly, it would appear that Justice Dono's argument was correct.
So that means the testimonies of the first two people on the scene are suspect.
There were two people who claimed to be the first on the scene, but can we truly trust their statements?
Let's see. The two people were Detective Candace Arm and Yuri Cosmos, right? You think that one of them might have given a false statement to the police?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. We might have to do a little more digging. And just as our team was about to cross-examine Detective Arm, the courtroom bombing incident occurred, and the trial was put on hold. The witnesses are sus. That accursed fellow. He killed my witness. He killed Detective Arm.
He definitely put the kibosh on anyone asking her about what she saw.
Exactly. In other words, the question of who killed the victim in the boarding lounge has once again become the main focus of this trial. It's obvious Prosecutor Blackwell still thinks it was Mr. Starbuck. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. No, the closest we'll get to that is Among Us and Ace Attorney in the same Nintendo Direct. Yeah. That was wild. Fulbright said that Blackwell has a thing against the astronaut. Nevertheless, the defense argues that there was a third person in the lounge, and that's who killed the victim.
Objection!
To make such reckless claims in a courtroom takes a bold man, or a stupid one. There was no third person in the boarding lounge. Or have you gone dotty already? Old man. He called him old.
Objection!
Objection! I'm not old. We'll see who's the dotard after I trounce you with my years of experience, little boy. Get him, Phoenix. Get him. He is not old. Get him. Destroy him, Phoenix. He's a pill. In any case, Mr. Starbuck claims he saw someone leaving the lounge. Furthermore, a Space Center employee also saw a suspicious figure at the scene. They saw a third person?
Third person?
I see my sister has been running her mouth. That's right. I almost forgot that Aura is Prosecutor Blackwell's sister. No matter. She didn't see this mystery person's face clearly. Therefore, there is no evidence to indicate that this person was not the defendant. I guess the possibility that the figure was Mr. Starbuck is still there. In brief, we need to determine if a third person was there or not. To this end, we should hear the testimony of one of the first people on the scene.
Director Cosmos, huh?
Very well. Bailiff, please bring the witness to the stand.
Well, he brought his little thing.
Why, I believe I've seen you before in the newspapers. Of course you have. Of course you have, for I am Yuri Cosmos, director of the Cosmos Space Center, which was of course named after me, Yuri Cosmos. Don't you have anything you wish to ask me?
Looks like he's all geared up to do some bragging.
7 years ago, I successfully launched the Hat 1 and... Everyone already knows how brilliant you are. Even I am trying to hold back my tears at seeing such a great man standing before me. So could you please proceed directly to your important testimony? Ha ha ha! I see this fine young lad has a proper appreciation of greatness. Then allow me to begin my epical testimony that will be recorded in the annals of history.
That speech of Prosecutor Blackwell's just now sounded more to me like he was poking fun at Director Cosmos.
It's probably for the best that it sailed right over the director's head. Now then, Director Cosmos, the condensed version of your illustrious testimony, please. What I saw at the scene. Detective Arm and I rushed towards the boarding lounge together. We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor. I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck. I see. So in your testimony you claim you arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge.
BRB gamers. Peekaboo. I'm back.
You arrived on the scene after the two had escaped from the launch pad to the lounge. And just after the victim had been killed. Oh, the horror, the humanity. But what I said is what I saw, and what I saw is what I said. Courageous action to take in the face of such terrifying explosions, wouldn't you say? To save my men, I went personally into the epicenter of danger. Risking my own life for theirs. Ha 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 ha.
Well, what do you know? It sounds like the director really cares about his men.
Yeah, although it sounds more like he was scared and just had a peek from far away. Is the defense ready to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Director Cosmos' testimony is pretty vague. I'm gonna have to press him and draw out some more information before I do anything else. Cross-examination. Pew.
We went via the control room and peeked in from there to see what was going on inside. We saw a figure standing in the middle of the lounge and Taryn lying on the floor. Hello, were you waiting for Emra's time to stream? I was. Like, I gotta stay for Emra's stream. I can't miss a Soul Magica stream. Okay. So, you couldn't see who that figure was clearly or what they were doing? Sadly, the only thing I could tell was that it was a person standing motionless. The defendant, no doubt, staring aghast at his deed. What other explanation is there? Famous streamer and billionaire Soul Magic. #1 streamer of all time.
Ugh, I'm so close. But without evidence, I can't prove that person's the third party.
I don't relish in this, and... I hate to say it, but I can only imagine the standing figure must have been Starbuck.
Hold it!
He's like Mr. Peaceful for gay people. Real. So true. Oh my gosh. That should be his channel description. Aura Blackwell also saw a suspicious figure in the lounge, but she gave the statement that it was too dark to see the person's face clearly. Did you see this figure's face clearly? No, not clearly. The lighter they were holding illuminated the area around their feet at the time. But other than that, I could see little else. That's why I could see Taryn, but I couldn't see who the other person was.
So for all you know, it might not have been Mr. Starbuck? Isn't that correct?
I would like to believe that. Starbuck isn't the type of man who's capable of murder.
Objection!
So the witness says that the defendant would never murder anyone?
Some witness you got, Blackwell.
When the witness entered the boarding lounge, there was no third person there. Isn't that correct, Great Space Center Director?
Yes, that's right. Only Starbuck and Taryn were there by that time. After we peeked in, the lounge suddenly went dark and the figure vanished.
You mean they disappeared? That's odd.
Objection!
The reason the figure appeared to vanish is because it was the defendant.
Okay, sure.
When the witnesses weren't looking, he fell to the floor and feigned unconsciousness.
Hold it!
Hold on. Director Cosmos, did you ever take your eyes off of the scene?
Just for a brief instant, about as long as it takes for a shooting star to go by.
If you took your eyes off the scene, then this third person could have escaped during that time.
But what escape route could this person have used?
The direction opposite the control room, the southern door to the elevators. There's no security lock on that door, so it would have been possible to escape that way.
Objection!
All things are possible, right, Domo? The real question is, do you have any proof?
Your proof?
What? Well... If we're just talking possibilities, we could each profess whatever we'd like. Profess our love. An inmate who used to be a university professor and lunar researcher used to say that there is a kingdom of little green men who live under the surface of the moon. Is that true? Can we get a fact check on that? As long as they don't punish us in the name of said moon for what we've done to it. Okay, Phoenix. Okay, Phoenix.
In the name of the moon, I will punish you.
But I say, where's your proof that this quaint kingdom exists?
He's calling your theory a work of fiction, boss.
And he's right, I don't have any proof yet.
Still. The southern door was a possible escape route. Better make a mental note of that.
Okay.
Director Cosmos, may I ask you a question?
Yes?
Why did you look away from the boarding lounge?
Ha ha ha! There's actually another tale of bravery behind the answer to that. It was when Detective Arms saw the figure and raised her gun. Being a great humanitarian and protector of mankind, I tried to stop her.
What? You're saying Detective Arm raised her gun as soon as she saw the figure?
I imagine her instincts as a detective told her they were the killer.
I don't know about that. And were you able to prevent Detective Arm from firing her gun?
I'm afraid I was too late. I was unable to stop her. She identified herself clearly and then... she fired 2 warning shots at the shadowy figure. This information about Detective Arm's actions sounds critically important. Please add it to your testimony. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots at the figure.
Hold it!
2 warning shots. And neither of these 2 shots hit the culprit? That is correct. The detective appears to have missed on purpose. But did she really? There's something about that bothers me. So, Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, did she? It's the first time that info has come out. Wonder if I can find any inconsistencies. Got it on loud, my mom's here too. Hi! Hi! Hello! Okay. Fired 2 warning shots at the figure. But there was only 1 bullet.
Objection!
Are you sure you were really paying attention to what Detective Arm was doing? You doubt my words that will someday be written down in history books? Somehow, I don't think that those exact words will ever be written down in any history books. Mr. Wright, could you please explain yourself so that we can all understand? You say that Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots, and yet only 1 bullet hole was ever found at the scene. Suspicious. What? Only 1 bullet hole means the gun was only fired once, and yet Director Cosmos is saying Detective Arm fired 2 shots. No editor would allow such a glaring contradiction into a history book.
Objection!
Get 'em, Phoenix. Unfortunately for you, the witness's words are true. We confirmed that 2 shots were fired from Detective Arm's gun.
Objection!
But there was only 1 bullet hole at the scene. Where did the other bullet hole vanish to? Oh. He's sick the hawk on us again. You should know the answer to that already. I should? During the previous trial, a certain oxygen tank was presented as evidence. We've already discussed that it was ruptured in the lounge, have we not? Well, it appears that the thing that ruptured it was a bullet. A bullet that was found near the tank, to be precise. This bullet was fired from a .38 caliber gun, the same caliber as the detective's gun. What? Oh, okay. Interesting. The rifling marks also match up. There's no question that the bullet was fired from Detective Arms' gun. Okay. Got a lot of bullets. Rifling marks? They're like a gun's fingerprints on a bullet, correct? Yes, Judge. We've done this before. And examining the rifling marks on a bullet can tell us the gun it was fired from?
It's like the fingerprints of a gun, Your Honor.
One of the bullets the detective fired found its way into a holographic image display. The other bullet came to a stop near the victim's oxygen tank. The evidence confirms the director's statement that the detective fired 2 shots. My beautiful contradiction. Gone. All gone.
So that bullet hole was from a .38 caliber, huh? I'd better update the record.
Thank you, Athena. Thanks for doing that for me. Very good. Now we know the fate of both of the shots Detective Arm fired. Mr. Wright, does that clear up all of your questions? Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots. One hit the holographic display, and the other hit the oxygen tank. Does that really clear up everything about what happened at the scene? No. I'm guessing. Usually the answer is no. No, Your Honor, it doesn't. Detective Arm fired 2 warning shots from a .38 caliber gun, but that doesn't explain the existence of a certain piece of evidence found at the scene. Oh, the little bullet. We got the little baby bullet, yeah? Yeah. A piece that points to the existence of a 3rd person. Oh. Very well, but it won't do to keep us waiting, Mr. Wright. What piece of evidence suggests the possibility of a third person at the scene?
Take that!
And what is this metal pellet supposed to be?
Eat it, Your Honor. It's candy.
Just a little something of great importance we found at the crime scene, Your Honor. You found it where? Oh, he got scary. In a floor gutter at the crime scene. It looks like the police and prosecution both missed it. Furthermore, this is a 10 caliber bullet, making it much smaller than one of Detective Arms's 38 calibers. Then that means... Exactly. One more person must have been there in the lounge. A third person who had a gun that could fire 10 caliber bullets. And if that's true, it explains why Detective Arm fired warning shots. The third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun. And in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha! It looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us. What's this now? What? You never breathed a word of any of this to me before. Ha ha ha! Well, all great men have a secret or two, don't you know? Foolish old geezer. So, Director Cosmos really has been hiding the presence of a third person all along? Director Cosmos, I want you to testify to the court about what you really saw.
The truth this time.
You may be a very great man, but in my courtroom you are just another witness. Ooh, snap. Get him, Judge. You won't receive special treatment here. Now please give accurate testimony.
Let's go. Let's go. What I really saw at the scene.
Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw a figure standing in the middle of the room and tearing on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Okay, that was a very short testimony. Given that there was no third person in the lounge when the witness entered it, does this mean the person who fired the gun had to have been the defendant? Not necessarily. It's still possible that it was someone else. Most likely, as soon as Detective Arm and Director Cosmos discovered this person, they escaped through the southern door, the one that didn't have a security lock.
Objection!
Double-edged swords are a tricky lot. Mishandle one and it is you who is cut down. Huh? What? I don't understand your sword metaphors. Your reasoning could apply if Space Boy were the killer as well. Think about it. After being discovered, he could have fired the 10 caliber gun. Detective Arm would have responded by firing 2 warning shots. All he had to do was feign unconsciousness to invent the possibility of a third person.
Objection!
That doesn't make sense. Well, Mr. Starbuck didn't have a gun in his possession when he was found by police. Nor has a gun been found at the crime scene. Its absence can only be explained if there was a third party who took it with them. Talking to my mom about the game a little.
Objection!
Nice. Recall the existence of a trash chute in the boarding lounge. The defendant could have simply thrown the gun down the chute.
Objection!
But you can't deny the possibility of a third person leaving with the weapon.
Objection!
It's up to you to prove that possibility. And I trust you haven't forgotten my little piece of decisive evidence. What evidence? This bird. Why, the detonator switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, naturally. The most compelling evidence of all that tells us he is the culprit. No, it tells that someone probably planted it on him. What? I did forget about all that. Look, your baldness. How deliciously obvious it is that they lack the evidence to rival mine.
Wow, he sliced our third-person theory to ribbons and served it to us. Just like that.
Yes, well, I have a question of my own, actually. That bullet that the mysterious figure shot, what did it hit exactly? It hit me. Oh. So does that mean you're, ghost? Okay, Judge. Okay. I was wondering when you would realize it, your baldness. Director Cosmos is an authentic, bona fide ghost. He can even pass through walls. Oh my god, Blackwell's great. Eek.
Objection! Prosecutor Blackwell, shame on you for teasing the nice old gentleman. Everyone knows ghosts aren't real. Right, Phoenix?
Sure, yeah. Your baldness. It was all in jest. Please show yourself again. Judge, we've done exorcisms in this courtroom. Calm down. Are you sure? In that case, how did you manage to survive being shot, Director Cosmos? Ha ha ha! I'm glad you asked. It was a miracle befitting a great history-making figure such as myself. The bullet hit my glorious Medal of Honor, whereby it ricocheted, thus saving my life. What? That is extremely lucky. That's unbelievable.
I have to check this out. Oh wow, look at that. There's one extra Gaiaxa star.
The odds are literally astronomical. Guess it really was a miracle.
It's beginning to really feel like the Cosmos is watching out for Director Cosmos.
But why did you conceal this information, Director Cosmos? A great man such as myself has to hide things on occasion, no matter how much it hurts. My mom is confused, I think. That's, you know, that's kind of valid to be confused. It is the plight of the truly great. It may be hard for this generation to understand.
I don't know, but it sounds fishy to me. What else is he hiding?
Let's just cross-examine him and see what we can find out. Now then, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. I don't know why I gave him Cosmos' voice. Anyway, short testimony, but I think I saw the contradiction. Detective Arm and I rushed to the control room together. In the lounge, we saw figures standing in the middle of the room and Taryn on the floor. We were still in the control room to the east when the figure fired at us. Yeah, but wasn't the bullet found in the south? Yeah, along the south wall. It was like behind.
Objection!
Director Cosmos, I believe you're telling this great court a glorious lie. A great man like me tell a lie? Have you ever heard of such a thing in all of history? The accusation's based on the positions of the people who were in the lounge. According to your testimony, you and Detective Arm were near the control room door, and the mystery figure was standing in the middle of the boarding lounge. If, as you say, the figure fired a gun at you from this position, then the bullet would have traveled in this direction. Yeah, it wouldn't have made it all the way to the south there. However, we found the 10 caliber bullet here. Oh! This trajectory and where the bullet was actually found contradict each other. Director Cosmos, where were you really when you were being shot at? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the human merry-go-round.
Objection!
Don't tell me you've forgotten already. Didn't the witness himself just tell you? The bullet hit his metal. Of this, there is no mistake.
Objection!
But in that case, the bullet should have been found near the east side of the room. Are you trying to say that you can explain the inconsistency? Of course. Oh, I didn't think so. What? What? No, no, you can't. Oh, great Director Cosmos. Yes? Is there something you'd like me to expound upon? You were in fact not in the control room to the east, were you? You were looking into the lounge from the door to the south. Is that not right? Gah! What are you getting at? Use your own brain. Your head must have some use other than housing that bird's nest. Okay. You're the... What? Stop it. Bird's nest? Why does everyone pick on my hair? Poor Phoenix. This is why he wore the hat for 7 years. Director Cosmos and the detective witnessed the scene from the southern door. The killer fired at them there, and that is why the bullet was found in the south. Ah, that makes some sense actually. Also, the witness being at the southern door is rather favorable for the prosecution. Huh? I've got a bad feeling about this. How about it, Director? If you don't tell the truth this time. Oh, he broke the shackles already? Yikes! His handcuffs! This early into the trial, you break the handcuffs, huh? You will become but rust upon my sword. I relish the chance to cut down a great man. Oh my god. Alright, I'll tell the truth. Just put your sword away. You are correct. I, the great Yuri Cosmos, was looking into the room from the southern door. What? That's the complete opposite of all the testimony he's given so far. And now you have lost your possibility that a third person was in the room. I have? How? The director and the detective were near the southern door, meaning the killer couldn't have escaped through there. The western door required print recognition. The corridor beyond was filled with smoke. The only escape route left was the eastern control room door. And the only way to get through there was with Director Cosmos' fingerprints. In short, there would be no escape for any third person had there been one. Oh, dang it. Aw, jeez. My third person just disappeared, like in one of Trucy's magic tricks. Gone. Vanished. Poof. Order? Order in the court. My mom laughed at the bird nest comment. Order, order in the court. Director Cosmos, why did you tell such an outrageous lie? You were covering for the defendant. Isn't that right? Yes, it was all for the love of my men. If I said I was in the eastern control room, it would mean the culprit could have escaped through the southern door. It would have meant that there could have been a third person. All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person. What a convoluted lie. Was he really covering for the defendant? It looks like we've come to a conclusion. That the defense's argument, the possibility of a third person, has crumbled. He's a boomer. All boomers lie. All boomers know is lie. Oh my god! Not a public safety alert again. That's the fourth one. No! It's over. Yikes. The judge is about to hand down his verdict. Think, Phoenix, think. This is the perfect time to try and turn my thinking around. If a third person had no way of escaping the scene, then what if one of the people at the scene was this third person? Oh, I think I got it. Wait, what if the whole premise is all wrong? Director Cosmos said that he and Detective Arm rushed to the scene together. But what if that premise isn't true? What if one of them reached the scene before the other one? And if that person entered the lounge, Mr. Cosmos. You're the third person. Then they would be the third person. The defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim and shot at the director. There doesn't appear to be any room for argument against these claims. I will now render my verdict. Hold on.
Objection!
Hold on, wait a minute. Please wait, Your Honor. There is still one possibility. Oh? This had better be good, Mr. Wright. There is one and only one person who could have escaped from the scene. And that person would be the first person who arrived on the scene. Then upon entering the boarding lounge, the second person to arrive came via the southern door. That's why the first person fled from the room, using an escape route that was accessible only to them. Very well, let's hear more about this theory. Who is this one person who could have escaped from the boarding lounge? Athena Sykes, Apollo Justice Trilogy, Wright, Clay Tarrant, Juniper Wood, Solomon Starbuck, Simon Blackwell, Bobby Fulbright, Candace Arm, Yuri Cosmos, Ponko, and Aura Blackwell and Klonko. Well, clearly it was Trucy. She's a magician after all.
Take that!
It was Yuri Cosmos.
What? But that's... Mr. Wright, what are you claiming here?
I'm claiming it was him, the witness. It always is. It's always a witness. Of all the people who were at the scene, only the witness could have escaped. The director is the only one with the authority to open the control room door, after all.
But that means...
Exactly. The true identity of the third person is our current witness. Wow, crazy. That's never happened before, ever, in a Phoenix Wright case. It's never the witness. Director Yuri Cosmos.
Gah!
What? What?
Order! Order in the court, I say. Mr. Wright, you will explain yourself in more detail.
I assert that Director Cosmos arrived on the scene before Detective Arm and entered the boarding lounge alone. Detective Arm arrived after that and saw a suspicious figure who was actually Director Cosmos standing in the lounge. And that's why she fired those 2 warning shots.
Gah, I've been hit! I've been hit on the starboard side!
Captain Wright! It's a direct hit on the enemy ship, sir. A magnificent shot.
Warning shots fired from the enemy ship. Prepare to intercept. Cosmos, you have told a lie in this court once again. That's a... I've been hit! I've been hit on the port side! The enemy has called in reinforcements! You're committing perjury. That's a crime.
Earth the Cosmos Control Center, requesting permission to speak that you return to reality.
But my ship will not go down to anything less than the ultimate weapon of evidence.
Objection!
But I do have evidence. In fact, you could say that your battleship bears its scar. If Director Cosmos is the third person Aura Blackwell saw, this third person fired at Detective Arm and Director Cosmos with their gun, and in return, the detective fired her warning shots. Isn't that how it really went down, Director Cosmos?
Ha ha ha, it looks like you've deduced my miraculous tale of survival. Yes, you're absolutely correct. The mystery person fired upon us.
Director Cosmos must have been the one who fired the 10 caliber gun. When Detective Arm discovered him in the lounge, it only makes sense that he would have turned and shot at her. Therefore, the evidence on the director's body is of a different kind of relevance than before. Once we compare it against another piece of evidence, the mark that you receive from the third party will be all the proof we need to prove that you were the one there in the lounge.
Brace for further impact.
Comparison against this piece of evidence will prove that you were the one in the lounge. What, the bullet? The big bullet? Not the baby bullet?
Take that!
The .38 caliber bullet found on the floor at the scene didn't hit the oxygen tank, It hit Director Cosmos' metal. If we have the ricochet marks in the middle analyzed, I'm sure the caliber will match up. And if that mark proves to be from a .38 caliber bullet, it will prove that you're the third person we've been looking for. Gah! The bridge is destroyed, losing altitude. All hands abandon ship. If that's true, then what about the bullet that hit the oxygen tank? It was the .10 caliber bullet. In other words, it was the bullet fired by Yuri Cosmos. Isn't that right, Director? Cosmos is looking sus, but we haven't seen Blackwell's sister yet, have we? Nope, not on the stand. No, you've got it all wrong. What? The engines have started again? It's a miracle! I'm not going down yet. Okay. Witness, stop this at once and confess the truth. If you don't want the history books to say that a great man was a liar, then accept your fate and tell the truth. Thank you, Athena. Get him, Athena. Are you giving me orders? Me, the great director of the Cosmos Space Center? Gah, but the cosmos revolves around me. Ah, someone get me off this thing. No one save him. No one save him. Order? Order in the court. And will someone please stop the witness from spinning? Please, someone. Phew. Thank goodness we were able to stop him from spinning off the face of the earth. I would have liked that. While he was twirling, I took the liberty of running an analysis on the mark of the metal. It was made by a .38 caliber bullet, matching it with the size of Detective Arm's firearm. Are you ready to confess the truth, witness? No! You've got it all wrong. This is just a misunderstanding. Is he gonna start piling on more lies? It looks like it. But no matter how many lies he tells, I'll just expose them one by one. I'll make that big liar tell the truth. Get him, Phoenix. Fade to black, Phoenix. Oh, that's a weird place to put it to be continued. I don't think, have we seen it to be continued in the middle of a trial? Usually, if it's in the middle of a trial, it'll be during the recess. But there's no recess. Alright, we're just going into it. Director Cosmos, a new possibility has been presented by the defense. They are claiming that you were this third person. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. So the great pioneer of space development is revealed to be just another fabulous cur. I only have one question for the likes of you. Shall I send you off quickly, or very quickly? Ah! The evidence doesn't lie, Director Cosmos, so don't try to talk your way out of this. Fine, I'll tell the truth. It's all just as you say, Mr. Wright. It's true that I was there in the boarding lounge. I got there before Detective Arm, and when she arrived, she fired warning shots at me. I was afraid people would mistake me for the killer, so I escaped to the control room. I then went past the elevators and all the way around to boarding lounge 1 again. I came up behind Detective Arm and pretended to be the second on the scene. What a troublesome old man you are, with such convoluted deeds and thoughts. I see. So then, are you still insisting that you did not kill the victim? Of course I am. When I arrived at the lounge alone, I saw the true killer. The great Yuri Cosmos was a history-making witness.
Hold it!
Now, hold on just one moment. We just proved a few minutes ago that the third person that Mr. Starbuck and Miss Aura Blackwell saw was you.
No, it wasn't me. I saw the person as well. Mom's impressed with your voiceover while you go live. Aw, thank you. If I were the killer, why would I lie to cover for Starbuck? I would just leave him to take the fall.
That is an excellent point.
All I wanted to do was protect Starbuck. I said I was in the control room to invent an escape route for a third person.
Well, it makes some sense if he told those lies to cover for Mr. Starbuck.
Still, a lie's a lie, Athena.
So, Director Cosmos claims he's not the culprit, but where's the proof?
I just remembered. I have an alibi. Miss Blackwell said she saw the killer at 10 a.m., correct? Yeah, and? Well, I was on the 4th floor helping with the evacuation effort. Ask any member of the staff you'd like. They'll corroborate me. The director is not fibbing to the court for once. I confirm that he has an alibi for the time specified. So, you're claiming that Miss Blackwell saw the killer commit the crime first at 10 a.m.? And that you arrived at the lounge after that? Yes, and I believe the person I saw is the same person that Miss Blackwell saw. Although it was pitch black, so it was more of a shadowy figure and less of a person. And I couldn't actually see their face, but it was definitely the silhouette of an earthling. Dang, and here I was thinking it was an alien.
As long as he has an alibi, we can't very well claim Director Cosmos was the killer.
No, we can't.
Then again, maybe we don't need to yet.
I wonder if he was really covering for Mr. Starbuck.
Your Honor, the defense moves to have the director testify about the person he saw.
Very well. Director Cosmos, your testimony, please.
Let's go.
As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. I hid to avoid getting shot. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. I was near the elevator side door, and, well, the launch pad 1 door, and the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer.
So you were shot at by the killer as well? And then they disappeared?
Yes, though luckily no harm came to my glorious body. Unfortunately, the bullet hit Terran's oxygen tank. I know because I heard a pang. That must have been the sound of the tank being ruptured.
Wait, but I thought the bullet hit his metal.
That was Detective Arm's bullet, remember? God, Athena, even I knew that. Even I remembered that.
Right. What a mess this is turning into. So let's see. Director Cosmos is claiming that when he found Mr. Terran and his killer, the culprit shot a 10 caliber bullet at him.
Right, but it actually hit Mr. Terran's oxygen tank and ruptured it.
And then the killer disappeared and the director went into the boarding lounge. When Detective Arm caught up and fired those warning shots at him, judging by his metal, it looks like one of them almost took him out too. Good summary, but that doesn't explain where our mystery killer went. Director Cosmos, I was wondering if you could elaborate on when the figure disappeared.
I'm ashamed to admit I tried to hide myself when I was shot at, but when I peeped back into the lounge, the real killer was gone. I rushed into the lounge straight away to investigate. But what I found was Terran with a knife in his chest and Starbuck out cold on the floor. So we have a culprit who vanished from a scene that had no escape route. Vanished without a trace. It's truly like one of the great mysteries of the cosmos.
Silence.
A riddle of the ages indeed. But I'd rather know how a fibbing leech such as you can be lauded as great. A great man is always misunderstood in his own time, but he must remain true to himself, even if those around him don't understand. Wow, that might be the first true statement he said all day. But how do you suppose this person managed to vanish so suddenly? Simple. Because it was Space Boy himself. When he was spotted by the director and Aura, he quickly feigned unconsciousness. Oh, my controller. No. That would certainly take all the mystery out of the idea of a vanishing culprit. I want to raise an objection, but I don't have any counter evidence. Director Cosmos, when you saw this person, did you also see Mr. Starbuck on the floor? I can't believe Starbuck killed his homie while passed out. No, because it was as dark as a black hole in there. I didn't see Starbuck until the other person vanished and I entered the room. That wasn't exactly helpful. I'm prepared to accept your surrender, Wright, Domo. No! I can't find any holes in this testimony, but I can't give up. Mr. Wright, why don't you let me help? Huh? While the director was giving his testimony, I detected a cacophony of discord. Which means he's hiding his true feelings from us, huh? This might help us find out what happened to our vanished killer. That'd be great, Athena. Let's see what you can do with him. You got it, boss. I wouldn't want to miss this chance to delve into a great mind. Yuri Cosmos, prepared to hand over the secrets of your heart to me. Wow, Athena, that was beautiful. Whoa, what the heck? Whoa, did you guys see that? That was my own video. What the heck? Why is it playing back? Anyway. Okay, let's break into his emotions. As I tried to enter the lounge, the true killer inside fired a gun at me. Okay, he's scared and surprised and a little angry. That makes sense. I hid to avoid getting shot. Okay. But when I tried to get another look, they had vanished into thin air. But he's not surprised by that? Okay, keep this in mind. I was near the elevator side door, and well, the launch pad 1 door. And that makes him sad. That's also weird. And the control room door should have been shut tight to the killer. Let's do him vanishing one first. And see why he's not surprised about that.
Got it!
You must have thought it was very strange that the killer vanished into thin air. I did. That kind of thing just doesn't happen usually. And yet at the time, you barely registered any shock at the occurrence. I've developed the Phantom Forces problem. Oh. What? Why are you... I can only think of one reason as to why you weren't surprised by the killer's vanishing act. You must have had a good idea of where they went. Isn't that right? What? No, of course not. That's preposterous. Only I can enter the control room. And the area beyond the launch pad door was filled with smoke, making it impassable. And as for the southern door, I was standing right there. So there was nowhere for the killer to run to. Maybe or maybe not. You went into the room to check on Mr. Starbuck and Mr. Terran, yes? What if the culprit took the opportunity to silently slip out through the southern door? I highly doubt it. As you recall, right after I entered the lounge, Detective Arm came rushing towards it herself via the southern hallway. Anyone trying to escape through there would have been caught by her. And yet the director wasn't surprised the killer vanished. So you're absolutely sure there was no escape route for the culprit to use. It's working, boss. One more punch and it'll be a knockout. There seems to be one more emotion that's at odds with his testimony. Go get him. Oh, the sadness at the door was weird. Okay, back in the Matrix it is. Time to pinpoint our way to victory. Let's go into the Matrix. Yeah, I think it's the sadness at the lounge 1 door. Or Launchpad 1 door, sorry. Like, why is he sad about that? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you seem to be afraid of the Launchpad door?
The great Yuri Cosmos? Afraid? What basis do you have for that outlandish accusation? Whether I have any basis or not, you seem quite distressed by it. I'm most certainly not. Director Cosmos, there's something about the launch pad door you're not telling us, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah. Wow, he's speechless. Looks like you hit the nail on the head, boss. Yeah. I'll just input those 2 pieces of data and... Yes! Just what I wanted to see. Ooh, it only dropped his noise down to 70. Presto changeo. Less discord. Looks like we're on the right track. Thanks, Athena. Now to make sense of what we've learned. Director Cosmos wasn't surprised that the culprit suddenly vanished from the lounge, which points to the possibility that he knew where the killer had escaped to. Furthermore, talking about the door to the launch pad made him uneasy, so the killer escaped through the launch pad 1 corridor, I'm guessing? In other words, he's probably hiding something about the launch pad 1 door. When we put these 2 pieces together, only one solution to this puzzle comes to mind. Director Cosmos, did the real killer escape through here? I'm guessing here.
Take that!
Because that's why he's distressed by it. The culprit went through the launch pad 1 door to escape, didn't they? Yes. I mean, no. Disaster to starboard. We're going to crash into an asteroid. A master tactician, you are not. But the area beyond the door was filled with smoke, wasn't it? True, but this is still the only logical answer there is. If we can figure out what the director is hiding from the launch pad 1 door, we should be able to iron out the logical inconsistencies. Yeah, but that door requires fingerprint recognition. Only Starbuck, Terran, and I have access. I don't see how the killer could have opened that security lock. Do you? That's an easy one. The killer was right there in the boarding lounge, meaning there's a way you could have easily gotten past that security lock. Come to think of it, we did examine the prints on the fingerprint recognition device, and they were Starbucks prints. I propose that the killer used this person's fingerprints to get past the security lock. Oh, because he was unconscious. Did the killer just pick up Starbucks' hand and just throw it on the fingerprint scanner?
Take that!
That's my guess, because it was his fingerprints we found. That's... Mr. Starbuck was lying unconscious there in the boarding lounge. Anybody could have easily gotten past the security lock by using Mr. Starbucks' prints. And actually, Mr. Starbucks' prints are exactly what we found on the device's screen. Ah! It looks like he does have something to hide about the Launchpad 1 door. And I'm betting it's got something to do with the culprit's escape route. But I don't have enough information to see the whole picture yet. You know, something just occurred to me. Would you like to hear it? Yes, Judge, please. Uh-huh? Oh, yes, by all means. There's a security camera in boarding lounge 1. Right, the one that recorded the victim and the defendant. What about it, Your Honor? If the true culprit escaped into the Launchpad 1 corridor, then that might be recorded on the security footage as well. Wow, that's so smart of you to say. Unfortunately, all the footage is gone. The cameras were cut. Then the mystery would be solved. What do you think of my logic? You said something smart for once, Judge. I hope you didn't strain your faculties too much for that, your baldness. I beg your pardon? Look, if we play the security footage beyond this point... Oh my! The footage cuts off! The camera was running on backup power, but apparently the power cables were damaged. Most likely by the after effects of the explosion. There is no footage after this, be it of criminals or space aliens. And I thought it was such a good idea too. It was, Your Honor, it was. Just because your grandchild is watching from the gallery. His grandchild's in the gallery? It doesn't mean you should try to show off too much. Grandpa baldness. Prosecutor Blackwell, how did you know about my grandchild? I think his grandchild just learned a little bit about the harshness of the adult world. Setting aside the issue of grandchildren, I'd like to have the witness continue. Director Cosmos, could you tell us more about when you entered the lounge? If I must. I hid to avoid getting shot. After the killer vanished, I went into the lounge. But that's when Detective Arm appeared from the elevator side door. Oh, he's like super surprised. And then the detective shot at me. He's more surprised that she showed up than that she shot at him. He's like, oh no. Anyway. So you see, the killer could have only escaped to the launch pad, right? So why aren't you not that surprised that she shot you? What did you do?
Got it.
Director Cosmos, why were you so surprised when Detective Arm found you, and again when she fired? Isn't that a bit unnatural? Sadly, even great men such as myself have ordinary human feelings. Our bodies are bound by the forces of gravity and emotion. Even a great man such as myself experiences surprise on occasion. Yeah, I'm sure you do. But my real point is not the fact that you were surprised, but rather what you were surprised by. I'm still surprised Judge had it in him to riz someone and have babies. Pardon me? First, you were surprised when Detective Arm found you in the lounge. And just after that, you were of course again surprised when she shot at you. But not very much. But considering what you were surprised about, a strange phenomenon occurs here. Director Cosmos, what is strange about your surprised reaction is the fact that you were surprised twice, not surprised by something else, more surprised when Arm came. Yeah. Sure, you were surprised when Detective Arm shot at you, but the surprise you felt when she found you in the lounge was much greater. Yeah. The fact that you were more surprised by simply being found than being shot at suggests to me that you were conflicted about whatever it was you were doing there. The enemy has acquired a new weapon. Commence Operation Hide Under Your Desk. Ah! Please tell me I finally sunk his battleship. Alright, we're down to 30%. One more should be good. Boss, I'm getting less discord now. That must mean he really is hiding something about that launch pad door. And whatever he's hiding most likely has something to do with the killer's escape. Wonder what it could be. If he was doing something suspicious around that door, maybe we can spot some change between before he came to the room and after. Detective Fulbright gave us a photo taken after the crime. Let's run a comparison. Let's see. This is footage of the door before Director Cosmos arrived. And this is how the door looked after the director entered the lounge. Oh! The knob! The knob switched. The knob on the wall. Oh. Hey, look at that! There is a change. Something's definitely different. Director Cosmos? What is it? Have you two been up to what have you two been up to over there? Finding the answer to what you were doing when Detective Arm found you, that's what. And that answer lies clearly in this footage. All we have to do is compare it to the photo that was taken during the investigation. It's a spot the difference game. Don't be ridiculous. If you really do have an answer, you'd have pointed it out already. He's asking for it. This is what changed directly after the incident. The knob.
Take that!
The answer is this knob. Yeah, that's... Your Honor, please take a look at this footage.
Let's see.
Take a look at the knob next to the launch pad door. As you can see, it's horizontal.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
However, when we investigated the scene of the crime yesterday, the knob was vertical.
What does that mean?
It was turned. It means that sometime between before the director arrived and after, someone turned this knob.
Ah!
After the scene was discovered, you were the only one who could have turned the knob. Come on now, Director Cosmos. Let's hear what you have to say. What were you trying to do by turning that knob by the door?
Yeah, fine, I admit it. You're right, I did turn the knob. That knob is a safety lock meant to keep the launch pad in place. I was afraid there would be more explosions, so I wanted to move the launch pad away.
You wanted to do what? Hey, didn't Ponko tell us something about how they prepare for launch? She said that once the launch pad's fully assembled, it's moved to the launch site. But the safety lock in the boarding lounge has to be disengaged first.
I guess that clears up what that knob is for.
Oh, so if the killer escaped into the launch pad 1 corridor, maybe they were transported along with the launch pad to the launch site?
I don't think so.
The launch pad 1 corridor was filled with smoke. I don't think they could have escaped through that corridor. So then where did the killer escape to? Guess there are still some things we have to uncover. Director Cosmos, I request that you tell us about moving the launch pad in more detail.
Fine, but listen carefully, for I'm about to give history-making testimony. Okay. I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock.
That makes him happy for some reason.
I feared there might be more explosions, so I had to cut the launch pad loose. Surely the only escape the killer had was through launch pad 1. Okay. But that area was a sea of smoke. Confound it! Where on earth could they have gone?
Okay, why were you happy in the beginning? That was weird.
Got it!
I had no choice but to disengage the safety lock? You make it sound like you were reluctant to do so. And yet when you did it, you felt some joy, as if you were pleased with yourself.
How do you do it? How do you know everything as if you were there?
Pretty impressive, isn't it? This is the power of analytical psychology. So, care to explain why you felt joy when you disengaged the safety lock? When I think back on the facts we've discovered up to this point, I have to believe that you were trying to fulfill some hidden agenda.
How do you know about that, too?
Oh my god, oh my god. It just hit 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my god.
Because I'm more or less a pro at guessing. But you have no proof that I had a hidden agenda. And even if I did, I would never ever tell you, so there!
I know they say people regress as they grow older, but you, sir, take the cake.
And how could you doubt a man with such great intensity, intelligence, and integrity?
Silence!
You, a man of integrity, don't make me laugh.
Prosecutor Blackwell? What came over him all of a sudden?
You've spouted nothing but falsity since you stepped up to the stand. You're not the kind of man that will be glorified in the annals of history. Not for greatness, anyway. Unless you consider greatness, greatest barefaced liar, an honor. Liar?
Oh, his words bite harder than his blade.
You moved Launchpad 1 after the explosions? My, how naive you are. You fail to realize how even the facts themselves have betrayed you. You know, just the thought, but modern English can be your friend. Pfft, Phoenix. Let him be all cryptic with his old English. And here's a thought for you. Immediately following the bombing, Launchpad 1 was on the boarding lounge one side. The police confirmed this on scene. What? The liar?
So that means the director didn't move the launch pad?
Curse my judgment for calling history's greatest liar to the witness stand. Let us leave him to indulge in his lies and war games to his heart's content. The liar!
Objection!
But it doesn't make sense. You can't deny that someone turned that knob. And once the safety lock was released, I'm sure the pad must have went somewhere. If we chase down the truth of this issue, we just might find where the killer escaped to.
You're sure it must have went somewhere? We just might find out. Your arguments are nothing but conjecture, bluffing, and wishful thinking. Stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is. Or are you not man enough to, boy?
I'm older than you.
Gah!
What? Haha, talk about hitting below the belt.
Youngins these days. Oh, Phoenix.
I don't understand it. I'm sure Director Cosmos must have moved the launch pad. The knob was definitely turned after he came to the lounge. But the launch pad is right where it's supposed to be. Ugh. Wait a minute. Maybe I have it all backwards. What if the director turned the knob not to move the launch pad away, but to bring it back to where it was supposed to be?
What are you blathering about?
What if the launch pad was at the launch site before the incident? And then after the incident, Director Cosmos moved it back to its usual spot? Oh, interesting. All he had to do was turn the knob to call the launch pad back. And it would be right where the police found it.
Yeah.
You made him sigh like Mr. Starbuck.
Was what I said really that off base? It pains me to have to explain how wrong your own logic is to you. However, our great liar turned the knob only after he discovered the crime scene. Indeed, the pad existed beyond the lounge when the Astro Wonders made their escape. A fact that had been recorded for posterity on filmless film. Alright. So to reiterate, stop chasing your fantasies and see reality for what it really is, boy. Ah!
Get a grip, Mr. Wright, and focus. We know the launch pad must have been moved, but our deductions and the actual facts of the case are in direct contradiction to each other. Well, maybe the two astronauts never actually boarded the rocket. This footage could be fake, taken with body doubles after the incident or something.
Okay, Athena, that's a stretch.
On second thought, that's too far-fetched even for me.
Never actually boarded the rocket?
Oh.
Hey, wait a minute. Maybe, just maybe.
Huh?
Oh. Prosecutor Blackwell, what if I told you the two astronauts never set foot inside the launch pad area, but instead went into another place? And what if when the director moved launch pad 1 back, it was not from the launch site, but from another place? What would you say then? Cut the existential bull or I'll cut you. Oh, Mr. Wright, you'll explain yourself at once.
I know I'm right. It was all the other way around from the beginning.
Very well, Your Honor. Let me explain. Director Cosmos' reason for moving Launchpad 1 was to hide it, to switch it with another place to trap the true killer. Switch it with another place. The museum?
I'm guessing it's the only other place. Because he wanted to switch it with some other place. I'm sorry, but did you say switch it? But what could he possibly have switched the launch pad with? I don't know, the other side? Oh, you'd be surprised, Your Honor. All it takes is a little thinking outside the box and the answer becomes clear as day. This is what was switched was launch pad 1. The Space Museum? I'm guessing is the only thing that makes sense. Launch pad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. In the past, the Space Museum used to be launch pad 2. It has all the same features as launch pad 1 and can even be moved to the launch site. Meaning, and that would explain why they wouldn't have to go down like the ladder or anything. That explains that whole thing. Meaning the Space Museum and launch pad 1 can also be switched with each other. You can't mean. The rocket the astronauts boarded was not the one in launch pad 1. Oh. Did my game freeze? Did my game freeze? Did my game freeze? Oh no. Hello? Oh, there we go. It was the one in the Space Museum! Oh my gosh. I think my computer's overheating. It is very, very hot. It was the one in the Space Museum. What? Balderdash. And yet, it's the only explanation that accounts for every riddle and inconsistency. This is how the Space Center was just before the incident. I see launch pad 1 and the Space Museum have already switched places. That's right, and with the two switched like this, the astronauts entered the Space Museum from boarding lounge 1. This allowed the true killer to enter launch pad 1 from boarding lounge 2 and set the bomb on the rocket. Come to think of it, the door to the Space Museum from boarding lounge 2. Welcome, welcome. The Space Museum is open to the public every day of the year from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Exactly. Anyone could pass through the door to the Space Museum. There is no fingerprint recognition system on that door. In other words, with the two launch pads switched like that, someone other than Mr. Starbuck could have easily planted the bomb. Gah. After setting the bomb on the rocket, the culprit snuck into boarding lounge 1 and waited there concealed, in order to kill Mr. Terran when the two astronauts emerged from the Space Museum. Recall that Miss Blackwell's Mr. Starbuck and the director all saw a suspicious figure, who we can suppose, after killing Mr. Terran, made their escape into the Space Museum. After that, Director Cosmos switched the two launch pads back, without realizing the killer was inside the Space Museum. The killer then left the Space Museum and made a clean getaway. No! Right, Dono. I see you know how to handle a sword and handle it well. Perhaps I should call you Swordmaster Bluff. I'm a seasoned warrior who has cut down many a prosecutor. Yeah, he has. Yes, you have, baby.
Silence.
You get them all. You got them all. You defeated them all. But unless you can prove your theory, it's no better than a rusty sword. That's right! You have no proof I switched the launch pads! Somebody needs a better anger management counselor. If the launch pads really were switched, there might be a record of it somewhere. At this point, launch pad 1 and the Space Museum were switched with each other. So the corridor beyond the door should be the one that belongs to the Space Museum. Let's see, this is an image of the launch pad 1 corridor. These see anything different when we compare it to the security footage? Huh? That number on the floor. Oh. Well, what do you know? It looks like we have proof after all, Prosecutor Blackwell. And if this is just another bluff... Well, don't worry. It's all right here. Oh, there's the 2! Oh. Right in this foot. Oh, I did. This is like the Steel Samurai case all over again. It didn't happen in Studio 1, it happened in Studio 2! Oh, very well then. Answer this for me if you would. What in this footage proves that the corridor belongs to the Space Museum?
Take that!
There's a 1 on the floor in the Launchpad 1 corridor. But take a look at the floor of the corridor in the security footage. Do you see the number on the floor behind the astronauts? It doesn't look like a 1, does it? That's because what you see is actually part of a 2. What? Why is it a 2 and not a 1? Do you know how to count, Prosecutor Blackwell? That's because the corridor you see is the one to the Space Museum. Ugh. Ugh. And so that means the corridor in this footage was not filled with smoke. That's right, because the explosion didn't occur in the Space Museum. The explosion occurred in Launchpad 1, on the side opposite the Space Museum. And now that we know the 2 astronauts escaped from the Space Museum, the mystery from the previous trial of how they got down the ladder is cleared up. There was no ladder. Mr. Terran, carrying Mr. Starbuck, or the elevator, yeah, simply took the elevator from the upper level down to the middle level. Just incredible. The 2 launch pads were actually switched. But you'd think someone would have noticed an event of this magnitude. Everyone was down in the basement shelter when the launch pads were swapped back. There's no way anyone could have known what was happening on the surface. We did. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. No more lies, Director Cosmos. It's high time you told us the truth. Get him, Phoenix. Get him. Yeah. My honor, my glory, everything is slipping away. Time to deploy the ultimate weapon, galactic engine, ignition. What? It's gone haywire. Ah, it won't stop. My stars, my glory. Ah. Yeah. No, not that way. Yeah. Oh. Your Honor, the witness has escaped the courtroom. Bailiff, on your steed and after that witness. Oh, he's so sad, you know. I see we managed to retrieve you before you came to any bodily harm. Director Cosmos, do you admit you switched the launch pads? I admit it's true. I switched Launchpad 1 for the Space Museum. Oh, it's good to hear words I can believe for a change. Before you do, Your Honor, 2 things. First, we don't know if Mr. Terran had prior knowledge of the switch. As for Mr. Starbuck, he was unaware of his surroundings thanks to his medication. Either way, Mr. Terran would have realized the instant he stepped into Space Museum that it had been switched was Launchpad 1. So my first question is, if the Space Museum was perfectly fine, why did Mr. Terran feel the need to put on such a dramatic display? As for my second question, I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with. Yeah, I'd like to know. Please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. Ooh. But I will say, my hands were tied. Oh. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The director is terrified. He must have one heck of a reason for not wanting to explain why. Probably not a good time to try to pry it out of him, huh? Excuse me, but would you mind if I picked up my stars? Without my badge of rank, I'm nothing. I don't see why not. Bailiff, help the director retrieve his stars. Help him get his stars. Oh, he's got his stars back. It appears the possibility of a culprit other than the defendant has presented itself. Mr. Starbuck, is there anything you wish to say? I don't get it. Don't get it? What don't you get? Director, why did you do all that? From the very beginning, you never meant for the launch to go ahead, did you? You tricked us! Mr. Starbuck. Starbuck, my boy. I'm sorry. I can't tell you the reason why. But I had to do it to protect the Space Center. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Director! Will I ever get the chance to go into space again? Aww. 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 Yes, of course. I won't rest until it happens. I will get you into space again, my boy. Aww. And the dream is still alive. Aww.
Silence.
Oh. You're not going into space, Starbuck, but prison. I won't have it any other way. Why are you so hung up on him? Yes, I accept that the launch pads really were switched. And if there were a 3rd person at the scene, I suppose they could have escaped. But I have yet to see proof of this 3rd person's escape via the Space Museum. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, shut up. He's right. I don't have any proof. Starbuck, you will spill everything you know. What? Me? Where did you get those bombs? Tell me now. If you don't, my blade shall feast on your blood. If I'm gonna die, I want to die in space. I have to do something. Solomon Starbuck, prepare yourself. Oh, he got zappy. Ha 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 ha! Now, you know violence isn't the answer, Prosecutor Blackquill. That annoyingly cheerful laugh. It can be none other than Bobby Fulbright, of course, yes. Champion of righteousness, Bobby Fulbright here. In justice we trust. I've missed you, Bobby. Detective Fulbright? Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Lawyer. I hope I'm not too late. I don't believe we had an appointment. I tried to hurry, but I ended up helping a little old lady cross the street. And then I had to break up a cat fight. I tell ya, justice sure is a full-time job. Was it a fight between cats, or... Okay, Phoenix, okay. Why are you here again? Because the defendant isn't the culprit, and I came to make sure that justice is served. Oh, he's on our side. I don't have any idea what you're talking about. Fulbright. I always thought you were a bit touched in the head. But have you finally succumbed? Nope. But it looks like you've succumbed to this phantom of yours. Open your eyes and let the evidence of justice uncloud your judgment. What evidence?
Come to think of it, he did say something about finding us some evidence.
Thanks to you two, I feel a lot better now that I've been able to get that off my chest. I'm going to work extra hard to find that perfect piece of evidence for you.
I didn't think he was serious, though.
What's the evidence? Yeah, so what is it, Detective? Is this something that will prove Mr. Starbuck innocent? It is indeed. Have a look at this.
Oh, it's the lighter!
But what's this? A lighter? That's right. A lighter thought to have been used by the culprit, no less. Oh, the Space Museum's cleaning robot picked it up. Does it have fingerprints on it? It has the victim Clay Terran's blood along with his killer's fingerprints on it. Okay, who's his killer? Who's the killer? What? What? Gah! Alright, who is it? Who is it? Whose fingerprints are on that lighter? Come on. Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, can I assume that the fingerprints don't belong to the defendant? You bet! Mr. Starbuck is totally innocent. The fingerprints are gonna be his, aren't they? Oh no. This is it. This is just what I needed. Later, added to the court record. Yeah. Whose fingerprints? I have to know. Your Honor, this is decisive evidence that supports the defense's earlier claim. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. With pleasure, Your Honor. Recall where this lighter was found. Based on that, we can extrapolate that after the killer murdered Mr. Terran, they escaped with lighter in hand into the Space Museum, where they dropped it. The switching of the two launch pads occurred. Then finally, the killer left through the boarding lounge 2 and made their escape. Meanwhile, Mr. Starbuck was found in boarding lounge 1 after the murder, a fact that Director Cosmos has testified to. Therefore, Mr. Starbuck couldn't have possibly been the one to drop the lighter there.
Silence.
But the defendant had free reign of the area until Director Cosmos appeared. Could he not have dropped the lighter in the Space Museum during that span of time?
Objection!
No. You'd like that to be true, wouldn't you? But Director Cosmos testified that right after he saw the mysterious figure with a lighter, he went into the lounge and found the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. In other words, Mr. Starbuck wouldn't have had time to double back to the museum. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, this lighter could only have been dropped by the real killer. Most important, just say whose fingerprints they were. Most importantly, Mr. Starbuck's fingerprints were nowhere to be found on this lighter. I think you understand what this means, don't you? This piece of evidence unequivocally proves that Mr. Starbuck wasn't the culprit. They aren't saying the killer for a reason, and I'm kind of scared. This does indeed appear to be decisive evidence that proves the defense's claims. As for the remote switch that was found in Mr. Starbuck's pocket, we can assume it was planted by the killer on the unconscious Mr. Starbuck. No, there must be some mistake. Frankly, Prosecutor Blackwell, I've been worried about you. You've been chasing this phantom for 7 whole years. I just dropped a quad kill. Let's go. Your predictions. That girl. Yes, that girl. I understand your urgency because tomorrow...
Silence.
Oh, what's tomorrow? Wait, what's tomorrow? Fulbright, you promised never to speak of that. Huh? Tomorrow? What about tomorrow? Wait, I want to know about tomorrow? Given the body of evidence, I think it's safe to say the defendant is innocent, in light of the fact that it was impossible for him to have committed the crime. You're gonna declare him not guilty, but we haven't found the killer yet? That's never happened into this game. I'm calling it. He's dying tomorrow. No. The robot one. A few unanswered questions remain, so I look forward to seeing what you two uncover. But for now, this court finds the defendant, Solomon Starbuck, not guilty. Well, I think that's the first time we've gotten a real not guilty verdict without finding out who the killer is in the same trial. There's some catch. Where's the catch? Where's the catch? Whose fingerprints are on it? Yes, we did it, Mr. Wright. Looks like we pulled it off somehow, huh? With some help from Detective Fulbright. Mr. Wright, Miss Sykes, thank you. And please thank Apollo for me, too. You all are the best. Ooh, I wish we could tell Apollo about Mr. Starbuck's verdict right now. Yeah, me too. That's gonna have to wait. Now that a verdict has been reached, I'd like to bring today's trial to a close. Court is adjourned.
Objection!
Ah! Oh, that scared me! Wait, who's objecting? My ego just got inflated to the maximum. I need to go chill myself. It's too late to object, isn't it? Who was that? It simply isn't possible. Something's wrong. Prosecutor Blackwell? Are you dissatisfied with the verdict? Oh, that was Blackwell. I didn't have my headphones on, so I couldn't hear whose objection it was, but it scared me. Fulbright, what were the results of the fingerprint analysis for the lighter? Huh? The results? Ha 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 ha! Well, I was in a hurry, you see, and then there was that cat fight, and, well, I kinda got carried away when I heard the prints weren't Mr. Starbuck's, so you have yet to read it. Prosecutor Blackwell, can you read out who the prints belong to? Upon thorough analysis, the fingerprints... What? What? No! No way! We're found to belong to Athena Sykes. Something's up, so says the report. What? What? Huh? Me? She's the main character, though. What? Oh my god, I did not see that coming. Order, I say, order! Miss Sykes, tell me you have an explanation for this. We just finished proving that this lighter could only belong to the killer. So finding your prints on it can only lead us to one grave conclusion. I don't know how they got on there, but I know I'm not the culprit. Oh my god. This can't be happening. What is this? You just missed the most intense plot twist I think this series has had. We built up our argument piece by piece. And I don't think any of our reasoning was faulty. So how could it have led to this? Later, updated in the court record. It has Athena's prints. Jeez. Well, what have I done? Please forgive me. Order! Order! Detective Fulbright, stop your crying. What in the world is happening here? It's like the world's gone mad. Order! Order! I will have order! Oh my god. This is why you don't touch evidence without gloves. She didn't have the evidence. Detective Fulbright just found it. And he brought it in, and that's how we got our not guilty verdict for Starbuck. She hasn't touched the evidence yet. Confusion spiraled into utter chaos. After all we'd fought for, the truth that turned cruelly on us to accuse Athena of the crimes. Somewhere, somehow, everything had gone terribly wrong. We had stumbled over the edge of reason and into the jaws of a twisted darkness. Oh, that's the end of the episode! No way! Do we gotta defend Athena now? Oh my god. Bro.
turnabout for tomorrow. Wow. Oh my god, Athena. No one can escape their past. I know the writers were kicking their feet as they wrote that. Oh, there's baby Athena again. Are we gonna have to uncover her past too? Oh, the sins we've committed and the sadness we've caused. Huh. No matter how far we run, our past remains, as ever present as the moon in the sky. Oh. This is so cool. It's so anime. We still never got an explanation what happened to Apollo's eye. It looms in wait for the day when we are forced to face it. But only in doing so can we truly make peace and move on in hope towards tomorrow. This is so cool. What the heck? Stop. How did I only just realize that the people Blackwell killed were Athena's family or homies or something? Because to be fair, they haven't really stated it. They just kind of drew the connection just now. They've only stated that Athena and Blackwell knew each other, but not how they knew each other. December 20th, 1:23 p.m. Wright Anything Agency. They took Athena from the courtroom straight to the station. She's probably being questioned at this very moment. The katana in the white background. Oh, those weren't there before? I don't remember them. Well, they might have shown them before, but it wasn't in the original scene with Athena covered in blood. Oh, the office is empty now. After this past year, I took it for granted that those two would always be here. Oh. But now Apollo has gone off on his own to seek his own truth. And my pursuit of the truth only ended up with Athena becoming the new suspect. Trucy, come comfort your dad. Some boss I turned out to be. Oh, hey kiddo. Your brother and sister are gone. It's even quieter in here than usual. Yeah, it seems so empty too. Trucy. I just don't get it, Daddy. All of your reasoning during the trial seemed perfectly solid. Yeah, and I still believe it was, at least based on what we know. But now Athena's the one who's being accused. During the trial for the bombing and murder that occurred at the Cosmos Space Center, we need Mr. Hat right now or I'ma cry myself to sleep. The lighter used by the real culprit was found. This lighter proved the defendant Solomon Starbuck innocent. But Athena's prints were found on it instead. And she was subsequently arrested for the murder. But Athena couldn't have done it. It just doesn't make any sense. No, none of it does. I've been racking my brain, but I just can't figure it out. Ugh. What is the flaw in my reasoning? What have I got wrong in this case? You know, Daddy, if Athena was here, she wouldn't just be sitting around thinking. She'd be out there doing something. You are going to defend Athena, right, Daddy? Of course I will. And thanks, Trucy. I needed that push. Trucy's right. The trial's tomorrow. There's no time to waste. If I'm gonna prove Athena's innocence, I better get out there and find some evidence. Off we go then.
We're on a hunt for evidence that will prove Athena's innocence. Great. But before we go, I'd better tidy up the evidence I have on hand. Do we have all the evidence? Unnecessary evidence left at the office. Athena's probably still in the middle of being questioned. So, Trucy's right. The thing to start with is talking to people at the Space Center. Okay. I still can't believe Apollo really left us. It was so sudden. Maybe he got tired of being my assistant for my magic tricks? Oh, no, Trucy. I don't think it's your fault, Trucy. But I made him clean the toilet a lot. And I made him go bring in the newspaper. It was my fault. I just know it. Oh, Apollo. I really don't think it was your fault, Trucy. But I didn't realize Apollo was wearing so many hats around here either. Oh. How could they suspect Athena? It's just ridiculous. It must be some kind of conspiracy. A conspiracy, huh? Well, it certainly is some kind of mistake, that's for sure. First of all, we have to bust Athena out of the detention center. Okay, we're not gonna do that. Then we have to chase down the people who framed her. Oh, she just meant, like, get her the not guilty. I thought she meant, like, literally bust her out. Maybe not. We'll sneak around the world from Kiev to Carolina with the fuzz hot on our tails. Isn't that exactly the same as the plot of the movie you watched the other day? Alright, to the entrance. Dang. Dang, dang, dang. You! Director Cosmos, do you have a minute? Don't be mean to Athena. No being mean to Athena in my chat. Galactic scooter, full speed ahead! Okay, bye, I guess. What? Director? He scooted away. His expression changed the instant he saw you, Daddy. Yeah, well, I dragged his name through the mud pretty good at the trial earlier today. Oops, I keep hitting present when I'm trying to move. Cosmos Space Center boarding lounge. We were here only yesterday. Oh, hey. Mr. Starbuck, you've been released, huh? Yep, I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. You gave me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... Oh, what's wrong? I thought he'd be happy to be acquitted. As I was coming out of the detention center, I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed a peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Is this going to be another Trucy adventure? I suppose so. Yeah, that sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. Oh, my Athena. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. And yet she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. Oh, Athena! That's so Athena. I love her so much. There's no question about it. That girl is innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. We can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. I think it's the hot robot lady. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm gonna give her the best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to.
I still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I haven't the foggiest idea. I'm purely going off my attraction to her. There never was gonna be a launch that day. Not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Why was Athena there again? No, we don't know. We don't know why she was there. We just know her fingerprints are on the lighter. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. And the fact that she might have made a fingerprint maker robot or something. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. Oh my god.
Is he gonna be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole.
Well, that's just how he is.
Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murderer?
Oh, really? I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police, though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Just as I thought. The culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped.
So was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck?
I couldn't really tell. But it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was male or female, tall or short? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. When the culprit opened the door and some light came in, I should have been able to see the door. Yeah. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape.
The door to Launchpad 1, right?
Yeah, except right now, the door leads to the Space Museum. You mean the launch pad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure. Just let me have my prints scanned here.
Thank you.
Do the launch pads get switched back and forth a lot? Well, back when the Space Museum was Launchpad 2, they used to switch the pads around at times. But these days, Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right, because, quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear ya. Times sure are tough.
Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door.
Sure, let's go. Hey, why don't I come along? I can show you around. Oh. Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here.
Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes? There are lots of trees around the Space Center.
She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know. They were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. Wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on.
Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor and they came in that way?
Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know. So, this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame.
So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either?
That's right, Trucy. Just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints. When they escaped back out the Space Museum corridor into boarding lounge 2. Okay. Well, I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. Alright.
December 20th, Cosmos Space Center. Entrance.
Curse the wretch who sullied my good name! Reverse course and full speed away!
Director Cosmos, wait.
Oh, there goes.
I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that!
Yeah, the mobility system has been compromised. Trucy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. Trucy.
And the streak continues.
Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. My dear old battleship, we fought many a skirmish together. It has been an honor. Trucy, that seems illegal.
Daddy, he's gonna blow that thing up.
Nah, I bet all that button will do is make it go haywire again. Very well, I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expect to be treated honorably. How's it going, dude?
Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. I'd like Director Cosmos to tell us why he switched the 2 launch pads to begin with.
Yeah, please, I can't. I exercise my right to remain silent. But I will say, my hands were tied. I like big Director Cosmo, you know. I know. I was only doing what I could to keep my men from getting caught in that blast. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed and I've been taken prisoner. Oh. It's something about the eccentric characters. Whoa. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo his psyche locks if I want to get to the bottom of this. And unfortunately, since, you know, Japan, there's a lot in this game. Yeah, just a bit. Alright, let's break his heart with the Magatama. Behind the switching of the launch pads. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the 2 launch pads. I refuse! You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. Now let's see, where to start? This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pads. You did it to fool the bomber, to prevent the bombing, to save the astronauts. Yeah, to save Clay and Solomon. Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronauts escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts were raring to go out on an authentic space adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the Space Museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. Clay? I mean, he's the one that makes sense. You must have gotten Mr. Tarrant to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Someone please help this poor prisoner of war. How was he able to spin around like that? Wait, it was fake? And this Yes, it was faked. If you really wanted to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? If I could have done that, do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know how to switch the pads in advance of the... bombing incident? Well, that's because... I was warned in advance. Once I received the warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronauts' safety. But it was just a warning. It could have even have been a prank. Why'd you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Spirit mediums. Oh? I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone.
Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while. Planning another launch? I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. I think in this situation it's completely reasonable to take any warnings 100% serious. Yeah, I would. The bomber said it's been a while? And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before? Maybe the culprit in the current case is the same who was involved in this incident? The courtroom number 4 bombing, the Hat 1 miracle, the Hat 2 bombing. Oh, what if it was the Hat 1 miracle? Was there a bombing in that? The Hat 1 miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. But in truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the killer said it's been a while, you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the danger was real and it wasn't a prank. Gah, didn't anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? Yes, the Hat 1 miracle was really a desperate battle against an act of sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage, murder? So this is the ugly truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. Oh, someone died during it too. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught and that the case was closed. Oh, the other lady was the one that died in the photo. Yeah. Oh. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago? This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit. It's gotta be Blackwell, right? Because he thinks he was convicted. Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought that he committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprit's been running free all this time. How do you keep seeing straight through me? OMG, it's a sibling plot. Unlock successful. Yay! The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the Hat 1 miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at this Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. Finally, we're learning about it. Oh my god. What happened 7 years ago? You mean the so-called Hat 1 miracle? Okay. The launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism. All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. So, do you have any clue who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, A spy.
A spy? You mean somebody who infiltrates a foreign country? Carries out dangerous missions? And always gets the girl?
Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, 100% this is. It's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Okay. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got a call before the launch warning us of sabotage. The same MO as this time. Yes, and here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong. I don't know if she did this one because it feels like too early in the investigation, though.
Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think?
Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? No? What? No, they're not. But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. It's always the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed. And then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. And that was the Hat 1 miracle, wasn't it? But then 7 years later, the same MO. Advance warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. Ninjas and spies are completely different. Ninjas jump up, kick back, whip around, and spin, and spies are girls or kids. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. That was what made you decide to switch to the launch pads, wasn't it? That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago, despite the cover-up. They knew about the sabotage, the moon rock, the murder, and they said, "You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you?" I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're easily inspired by political talking points, get 'em, Phoenix. Plot twist, it's Apollo. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which meant the danger was very real. And I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. Athena into Apollo, I wouldn't make it through the night. That's why I switched the launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before and switched the launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then I pulled a closed for repairs sign at the door to launch pad 1 and boarding lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? I enlisted the help of several staff members, including Taryn. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it? He'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until... Whoa.
Clay's murder, huh?
After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out, but after all that effort, Taryn is dead and the Hat 2 is destroyed. And the Hope capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos, my beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for. Wait, what did he mean by the Hope capsule was lost in the blast? I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Taryn. It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. So what kind of samples are they? What's in them? The samples are scheduled for analysis in the near future. We haven't had time since they just came back the day before Terran's murder. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1, but I gave it to Terran before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that with it safely in Terran's possession, he could make it look like he rescued it during the staged miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway.
But I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe.
You misunderstand. The launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence and was blown to smithereens. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? Ow! The police found a wiretapping device during their investigation today. Just saw a baby fox. It was cute. Aww, baby fox. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I use this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launchpad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion and planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. So you really think the same spy is behind the incident in the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. Then this spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. But Prosecutor Blackwell told me once that hunt I've been on for the phantom of 7 years past continues even still. Guys, I'm about to do a poll. Can I get some good luck energy? I'm sending you good luck vibes. All the good. Sending you all the good luck. Good. You got a great poll. You're getting a great poll. For starters, that case happened right here at this very space center too.
So, if we can find this phantom...
That's right. We can clear Athena's name. Then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell too.
What about him?
Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, oh, then we can get Blackwell off. It would mean Prosecutor Blackwell is innocent. That's still an if, though. Oh, bad pull.
I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs. But if we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in.
Now, where'd you find someone who can who can help us with ghosts? Ha 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 ha! It's all over for me. Spin, spin, whirl, whirl. I'm done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed.
Do you think he's gonna be all right, Daddy?
Well, at least he'll be in good company. There must be planets out there he can spin with. Not the worst, but like bottom 5 options. Dang. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deeper into the Hat 1 mission too. If you want to learn more, start with the Space Museum. There's a Hat 1 exhibit there. Oh, don't mind me, I'll just keep spinning here and see how the cosmos unfolds. Okay.
It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something.
I'm doing another I love video game gambling. I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. Let's go visit the Space Museum. Oh my god, he's still spinning. Stop it. Alright, Space Museum.
Let's see. Where's the exhibit on the launch 7 years ago?
There, that's the Hat 1 exhibit.
Wow, look at the photo of the team.
There's Clay and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Aura Blackwell, and even Ponko. And then a girl whose name we never know. But I've never seen the woman on the right before.
Everybody looks so happy.
Well, except for Director Cosmos. Let's check out the newspaper article too. Hat 1 launch imminent, and there's a photo of the Hope space probe. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage.
They really were keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket.
It must be the Hat 1's team's jacket, team's uniform jacket. It's the same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay.
Actual jacket worn by a Hat 1 team member, it says.
Not a replica, huh? Wonder if it was Mr. Starbucks? Hello? Who's this? Who said that? Who said hello? Oh, Juniper. What the hell is she doing here? Oh, Miss Woods. What brings you here?
I heard Thena got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright.
Why is she here? I thought you might be here at the scene. She's the Phantom. She did it. It was her. You must be so worried. But rest assured, I'm going to do my very best to defend her.
Thena's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her.
Oh. Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center? She's been like every possible type of NPC.
What? You didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl.
Oh. Witness defendant judge. She used to live here. She did? No, I didn't know. No wonder she knew so much. Miss Woods, could you tell me more in detail?
Thena's mom worked here. If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that.
But why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility?
I don't really know. But I do know that she lived and worked here, so Thena lived here too.
Interesting. So it was far from Athena's first time here. Wonder why she didn't mention it.
She probably didn't want to talk about it. This place is connected to a very sad memory for her.
Oh, I see where this is going. Oh no. A sad memory? Can you tell me about it?
There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago.
Oh no! The same time frame as the Hat 1 launch.
Thena's mom in the robotics lab.
The murder of her entire family. Bit more than sad, isn't it?
She was murdered.
Oh. What? What? So it was her mom that died.
After it happened, Thena stopped coming to school.
Poor Athena. And all this time, she never let on at all.
I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her.
Oh.
But I never saw her again. After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years.
And so the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Quartz's case?
That's right, and I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person, so cheerful and happy.
Europe changed her. What was Athena like as a child?
She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions.
Oh, her hearing.
When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around.
It must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices. Oh, there she is. Yeah, she's got the little, like, headphones on.
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
Huh. Wonder what kind of research it was?
Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution.
Headphones sighted, she's real.
Maybe that's why we became such good friends. We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Oh, Daddy, show her that picture!
Atta girl, good idea. Okay, I'll show you the picture. Miss Woods, could you take a look at this for me? Is that her mom?
Oh look, there's Athena's mom.
Yep.
The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono. That's Dr. Metis Sykes.
Athena's mother's murder. Did it by any chance have any connection to the Hat 1 launch?
What? Why, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch.
Just as I suspected. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered. So this is the murder Director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime prosecutor Blackwell was convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case.
There is?
Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods. And please, try not to worry. I won't let anything happen to Athena.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So, we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. We've got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fit it all in before the day is through.
The detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. Metis Sykes, deceased. Athena's mother and victim of the murder 7 years ago. She was a talented psychologist like her daughter. Alright, let's go see Athena. Oh, you're not Athena. Well, if it isn't Mr. Lawyer! Fancy meeting you here. Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. Here on business? To tell the truth, I'm here to interview Ted Tenate. The one behind the courtroom bombing incident? He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible, I just had to come right over to hear more.
Incredible? What was he saying?
Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself? Really? Us? Are you sure? Ha ha ha! I give you my special permission. Here comes the bummer now. Oh, Ted Tenate, it's been a while. Oh, he's nervous. You! What nerve you have to come here. You were here to laugh at me, I suppose. Like I'd waste my breath on you. Oh! If he dares mention Athena, we blow him up. Real. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital. Violence? No. Question? Okay. No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Oh! Oh! Get him, Phoenix! Wait, is this his theme? It's low-key groovy. Yeah, it is. Hi. Fine. Then just answer me this, Mr. Tenate. What is this truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up? No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room.
What are you talking about? Who else could have been there?
I saw it, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. Oh, this person was there and witnessed the murder I committed. What? I don't know who it was. But that's who blew up the courtroom.
You expect us to buy that?
Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psyche locks, so I guess he must not be lying. It was the girl. Pardon me, I got a little carried away. But I'm telling you the truth. I did not detonate that bomb. And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it. We haven't found any new facts yet, though. Wow, they've laid it all out piece by piece. Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them. Uh-oh, looks like his geek switch has been activated. Phoenix is just roasting him. I love it. Phony Fanty bomb added to the court record. Oh, the bomb is back. Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning. Anything but that. I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. I was just about to question Miss Sykes.
You're gonna see Athena now?
That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? Well, off I go. Oh, there he goes. What bad timing. Looks like we'll have to wait until after her questioning is over to see her.
And after we came all this way too. Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Alright, let's go check out the robotics lab. What does it look like? Oh! Judge-tron! The Judge-tron!
So, this is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge.
And where people were directed to evacuate from via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots...
Daddy, look! Over there!
Aura? Oh, Apollo, what? So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right?
Yeah, more or less.
Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Apollo! Apollo and Aura Blackwell? Wonder what they're talking about. And Aura!
Well, come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our alone time.
Trucy? And Mr. Wright? What? Why are you mad at me?
If it's Apollo you want, you can't have him. He said he's investigating on his own.
And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate this lab.
Well, this is my lab, so you'll need my permission if you want to do any snooping. I heard about the trial. Made my mincemeat out of that director. And suddenly Starbuck was out and your little subordinate, the princess, was in. Case closed, and they all lived happily ever after. Ugh, Daddy, say something to her. And I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right?
The princess, huh? Guess she's talking about Athena? Of course, Athena's innocent.
Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. The emotionally unstable princess. There's your culprit for you. Don't you agree, Apollo?
I don't know yet. Oh no, Apollo's suspicious of her.
Apollo, how could you? What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you. Or should I say, former subordinate. He works for me now.
Jeez, Apollo. I can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena? Oh.
Phew. All this laughing has worn me out. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Oh. Mr. Terran? That's Apollo you're talking to.
Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay.
She so did it.
Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost.
Are you Apollo?
Mr. Terran, how are your injuries? Mr. Terran. Mr. Taryn, how are your injuries? Mr. Taryn.
That's scary.
I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that murdered him. And to haunt the lawyer that defends her too, of course.
I am creeped out. A robot that can see ghosts? Yeah, right. And I'm a spirit medium. What? Phoenix? What? Oh, he meant that sarcastically. But I didn't realize this is a horror game. Sorry, but apparently scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Athena, no matter what you have to say about it. Phoenix just came out.
How perfectly foolish. That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago.
Could you tell me about the incident 7 years ago?
Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in the wound? Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return?
I'd like to hear about that incident too. It helped me understand the current case better. She's more guilty than people with guilty verdicts. Huh? Apollo knows about that case too?
Well, if you're the one who's asking Apollo, come on, hunk of junk. You tell the story. But Miss Aura, that's private information. If you won't talk, I'll just have to make you talk.
Oh my god.
Gee. Yeah, yes. Who cares about personal privacy? Not me. I am ready to utilize my blast processing abilities to impart all available information.
It went Super Saiyan.
Wow, what a magic trick. He's like a completely different robot now. The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura. I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much, much younger then.
Yikes, better watch what you say if you don't want to get recycled, Klonko.
And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Metis Sykes.
Hearts? Robots with hearts? Can you even make such a thing?
Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. The two navigation companions created by Miss Aura and Dr. Metis transcend humans. Yeah.
So, oh, if this is her desk, is that a photograph of Metis she has by the computer I'm just noticing? Metis. Huh? She just glanced over at her desk. I just noticed that too! Wait, we noticed that at the same time! Yeah, she's got a photo of her on her desk. Nobody can continue Metis's research. She and her work were truly one of a kind. And now the two navigation companions are all that are left of Metis here on Earth. The robots are all that's left? Isn't she leaving out a very important someone? We built the ultimate creations together, but now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes loved her robots almost as much as she loved her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. Oh. You guys gotta stop bullying Aura now! Damn, Pride Month. Let's go. Oh. Oh. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend Clay. I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat. Oh. Ah. Oh. Oh. Lesbianism is no excuse for evil. Miss Aura, would you like a tissue? Keep your trap shut, hunk of junk. Oh. Oh.
Klonko is an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. You should treat him better.
What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, and I can always repair his body.
Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies.
What do you mean by that?
The program Metis wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. So I can do anything I want to them. I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things. Why are you people looking into such an old case now anyway? Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as in this case.
So Daddy's gonna find out who killed Dr. Sykes, too.
I'm sure you're aware of who Metis's killer is. Yeah, Prosecutor Blackwell, or so it seems. That's a quaint way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it? I can't say anything for sure right now, but that's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it, to help me be sure. I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know. He wanted to learn psychology, he said, to give himself an edge in court. Bro, I still low-key suspect Aura. Prosecutor Blackwell's forte, his infamous power of suggestion technique. Exactly. And he was oddly serious about it. Rather than a teacher-student relationship, he treated her more like how a loyal samurai would treat his sovereign. Huh. He seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. He even got along well with that miserable little princess.
Why do you call Athena the princess anyway?
Well, she is Metis's daughter after all, although she's nothing like her. Besides, doesn't the selfish little princess always have a lot of white knights hanging around? Now I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran into Aura yesterday. It all makes sense now. So the culprit behind the two cases could be the same, huh? That settles it then. What does it settle? None of your business. Just forget you heard anything. How long are you people gonna hang around in here anyway?
What? But we came here to take a look around.
You think you can just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Show me a search warrant. We're not the police, so we don't have one. Then get out, now. Klonko, show them out.
Certainly, Miss Aura.
She knows who did it, yeah.
Ouch, don't push.
My apologies, I'm just following orders. Oh. What a way to get shown out.
That nerve of that woman. What's with that horrible attitude?
I guess that's just how she is.
Why was Apollo going along with her?
Guess it's because they have something in common. Apollo lost Clay, just like how Aura lost Dr. Sykes. I don't care about the wife stuff anymore. I'm invested.
I'm really worried about him. He's not himself at all. He's usually not all cool and dark and mysterious like that.
I guess that's true. Does she mean he's usually silly and dorky?
I'm gonna go keep an eye on him.
Okay, you do that, Truce. Hey, wait, Trucy, come back! She's gone. What should I do now? Detective Fulbright is probably still in questioning Athena. Guess I'll go back to the office. Alone. Oh, I never go to the office alone. Oh, that's so sad. He's all by himself. This is so sad. Oh. Well, here I am. This office has never felt so empty. I guess I haven't been here at the office all by myself in a long time. Oh, this is so sad. When I first became a lawyer, my mentor was here with me. And then for a while after that, she was always by my side. Maya. Now I'm getting all sentimental. I must be tired. Oh, Ace Attorney turnabout of angst. Huh? There's something on the floor. What's a letter doing here? Yo! Oh, that drawing. That's so cute. That's gotta be from Maya. Hey, Nick. It's been a while, huh? Miss me. I know this handwriting.
I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom.
I'm foaming at the mouth.
That must have been really something. Although weird is par for the course for you.
I think she, or whatever paper she's reading, is a little off on the details.
I'd love to come visit, but I'm right in the middle of a difficult part in my training. So instead, think of me as you watch those Steel Samurai videos I sent.
Oh, Maya! Maya mentioned!
I'm sure they'll cheer you right up.
Oh. Yours truly, Maya Faye. Yeah, Maya! Top 3 character. Let's go, Maya! Good old Maya. It's as if she knew I was feeling down and needed a lift. Oh. Oh, Maya! Maya was my assistant for quite a while. Believe it or not, but she's a spirit medium. This Magatama I use on Psyche Logs. Maya's the one who gave it to me. Oh. But I wonder how this letter got here. No way! No way! Is it?
Mr. Nick?
Ah! Eek! Yo! It's Pearl! Oh, it's you, Pearls. It's Pearl! Oh.
How have you been, Mr. Nick?
Age check. I need to know if she's tolerable as a person. She's not been added yet. Hold on. This is Pearl Faye, though I call her Pearls. She is Maya's cousin, who is also a spirit medium. A very talented one at that. I've known her since she was 8 years old, but Apollo and Athena only met her a few months ago. You didn't come all this way just to bring me a letter, did you? Well, we can take a guess how old she is. She was 9 in the 3rd game, and it's been 8 years, so she'd be 16, 17? Are we gonna get 3D Pearl Mia because I'm leaving? If so, God, I hope not. I think Phoenix is past the point of talking to Mia's ghost. That means I can respect her.
I apologize for barging in. The door was unlocked. But I can't believe there was a big explosion here. Your office doesn't look any different.
She's even further off on the details than Maya. Pearl, best character. I wish I could take you out to eat or something, Pearls, but there's a lot going on.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't come here for a social visit, you know, Mr. Nick.
Has she been added to the court record? Yep. 17, called it. A spirit medium in training, her psychic powers are beyond question. Because she was an annoying child. Look at her little hair thing she's got now. That's so cute.
Did you read the postscript on the letter?
Huh? There's more? Oh yeah, here it is. P.S.
I bet you've been too busy to clean or take care of the office. So Pearlie said she would come help you. Isn't she sweet? You'd better thank her.
Aw. Oh, so that's what you're doing here. It's awfully nice of you, Pearls. Maya and Pearls. Thanks to these two, I'm starting to feel a little better. Thank you, girls. Oh, they're his family. I've changed again.
Now that I'm here, I'm gonna whip this place into shape. You just concentrate on your work and don't mind me at all.
I'll need to talk to Prosecutor Blackquill if I want to learn more about his case. With the trial still going on, they must be holding him down at the detention center. Okay. See you later, Pearl. I gotta go talk to a murderer. Well, look who's here. Wonder what they're talking about. All this time and you haven't said a word. It's even turning your hair gray. don't have any... Oh, it was Aura. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Oh my god. Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, even if you don't, I have plenty, you jerk. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today? Today is all there is when there's no tomorrow. When there's no tomorrow? What is she talking about? We have company, Aura. Please try to calm down. Alright, fine. I see you're just not going to listen no matter what I say. I knew it, he's dying tomorrow. No. I've had it. If that's the way you're going to be, I have another plan up my sleeve. I hope you're happy, Simon, because I'm done. Do as you please. See if I care. Ooh. Wow. I could cut the tension with a katana. Right, Dono. It looks like Fulbright saved your case in court this morning. What? Oh, yeah, he did. You bounced back to business quickly. Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was just it was the just thing to do. But as a result, Sykes Dono was arrested. Was that just the just thing to do too? Wait, they announced Ace Attorney investigations? Yes, they did during the Nintendo Direct today. They did. Well, but as a result, Sykes Dono was arrested. Was that the just thing to do too? Mr. Lawyer, I'm sorry, but it was evidence. What else could I do? Sweet, yes. It's very cool. Don't worry about it. I plan to defend her and prove her innocence. I wouldn't take things so lightly if I were you. Right, Dono. This is blade-proof glass, right? Hey, how's it going? Prosecutor Blackwell, we're looking for the case from 7 years ago. You're looking for somebody you called the Phantom of 7 Years Past, aren't you? You villain. Where did you hear about that? This glass is absolutely, positively blade-proof. Right? No, it wasn't me. I didn't say a single word. Oops. Ouch. At least that wasn't my fault. Could you tell me who this Phantom is? And also, you didn't really kill Dr. Sykes, did you? Guard! The guest is leaving. Prosecutor Blackwell, please listen to me. The culprit in the current case might be the same as the one in the case 7 years ago. If you would cooperate, we could probably solve both cases. I suppose I could talk. The one who killed my mentor was, without question, me. I stole Sykes Dono's mother away from her. I destroyed her life. Prosecutor Blackwell. Guard, where are you? Stop dragging your feet, I tell you. There he goes. No, we've upset Prosecutor Blackwell. Now what are we gonna do, Mr. Lawyer? There isn't much we can do. Detective Fulbright, do you mind if I ask you just a little more about that old case? Well, I guess it won't make any difference now. What would you like to know? Everything. Do you know anything about the trial that got him convicted? Guys, Blackwell final meal predictions. A little. The police called the incident the UR1 incident. Prosecutor Blackwell was charged with murdering his psychology mentor. Kind of like if your red Mr. Lawyer were to kill you. I don't want to think about that one. Soba and sake. There were 2 decisive pieces of evidence, so a verdict was reached very quickly. 2 pieces of evidence, huh? What were they? Ah! I was gonna go with dominoes or bangers and mash or something, but those are some interesting things. Let's see, the first was some security camera footage. He was the only one who used the corridor to the murder scene at the time of the crime. The only one, huh? Ouch, that does sound pretty decisive. Could you show me that footage? Oh, sorry, I don't have it with me right now. Guess I'll have to see it some other time. Okay. Blackwell was the only one to pass through at the time of the crime. And what was the second piece of evidence? This one's even more incriminating. A photo of the moment of the crime. I bet he secretly likes sweet stuff. He like eats it in private. Blackwell is a Ronin who appreciates traditional Japanese food. See? There he is at the crime scene holding a bloody katana. Oh, his hair was shorter. Interesting. It was the victim's, kept on display in the room. She had a thing for Japanese culture. Wow. It'd be hard to explain this one away. Added to the court record. But who took this picture, detective? The incident happened the day before the Hat 1 launch. A reporter who had come to do a story on the launch was in the room across from the lab. This just happened to show up in one of the pictures he took. Taken inadvertently, it became conclusive evidence at Simon Blackwell's trial 7 years ago. Prosecutor Blackwell's attitude earlier was so odd. He's definitely hiding something. Prosecutor Blackwell said he was hunting a phantom from 7 years ago, didn't he? Yes, and I imagine it's getting more and more urgent as his execution date approaches. What did you just say? Execution date? What? Did I say something? Never mind me, you didn't hear a thing. So he was given the death sentence? Yes. He told me not to tell you people, actually. But I guess there's no sense hiding it anymore. His execution date is tomorrow. What? Tomorrow? Oh. Miss Black- Oh, we don't need a flashback. This happened 5 minutes ago. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today? Today is all there is when there's no tomorrow. But what if the culprit of the current case is the same as the one from 7 years ago? Then it would be the worst possible scenario. Prosecutor Blackwell will be executed tomorrow under false charge. But that would be unthinkable. We have to do something right now. I want to do something, I want to, but... You're a lawyer, you know how hard it is to overturn a decision. I know, but why? Why isn't Prosecutor Blackwell putting up any kind of fight? You saw how he was, right? He's been like that ever since his conviction. Totally uncooperative. Not even his own sister could persuade him. Uncooperative? And he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit? This isn't right. I can't let it happen. I have to stop it somehow. Oh, pardon me. Looks like I have a phone call. Fulbright here. What? What's happening? You've got to be kidding. That's quite a reaction. Uh-oh. Is the picture in evidence? He doesn't have my Phantom Forces experience. He's about 6'4", I think. He's a swordmaster too. He's a pretty big guy. It's quite a reaction. I bet he's making some big show of it right now. Does that not low-key look like clay or whatever? Apollo's friend. A little, I guess. Mr. Lawyer, the robots are... Detective Fulbright, get a hold of yourself. Some kind of robot malfunction? Not a malfunction. There's staging a revolt. The machines are rebelling against humans. What is happening? They've holed themselves up in the Space Center and taken the visitors as hostages. They did what? What is happening? No, Trucy. We have to get right over there. This is going to be one heck of a battle. Whoa. What's happening? Robot revolt. The Wright police are here. Then the robots really are holding people hostage? Look, Mr. Lawyer. What do you suppose that group of people are swarmed around?
But I was only trying to help this nice person. She said she was lost.
You robots have declared war on us humans! You've even taken hostages already!
Stay away from it! You never know what it will do!
Whoa.
But he's not a bad robot. Can't you see he's just trying to help me?
I recognize that voice. Detective Fulbright, are you okay here on your own? Leave it to me. All right, people. What's going on here? Pearls, over here.
Oh, Mr. Nick.
Oh, it was Pearls. I thought it was Trixie.
Oh, Mr. Nick. There you are. I heard the terrible news and I got so worried.
What is happening with this case? I have no clue. Thanks, Pearls. I can hardly believe what's happening myself.
I'm so glad you found each other. When people are happy, I am happy.
Blanco seems the same as before.
When people are sad, I am happy. When people are angry, when people are... Oh, did I say something odd? Did I error?
Uh-oh. There is something wrong with him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Looks like he fell asleep. He must have been tired.
Clonco? Oh. What the hell is happening?
Human beings are our enemies. It's time for the machines
To take over. What is happening? The robots are rebelling.
Everyone run!
It's an all-out war. It's the end of the world.
Ha. Fools, how could you fall for something so cliche? I'm human too, you idiots. I'm just controlling these robots remotely.
Oh, is it Aura? It's Apollo. What?
But it is true that I've taken hostages, so you better not make me mad. Hey you, hostage number 1. Come here, I'll let you talk to them.
Huh? There's something being displayed on Clonco's face's screen. It's the Space Museum.
Daddy? Daddy, is that you?
Trucy? Trucy, is that you? No. Trucy, are you alright?
About 15 robots are holding 12 of us hostage, Daddy. They've gone haywire. A researcher's the one behind it. She's here. Yuck!
Gah, this girl talks too much. Trucy? Trucy, talk to me. Oh.
Why are you doing this? I'm glad you asked. My demand is simple. I hope that detective is listening.
Bobby Fulbright here. I'm all ears.
I want you to bring someone to me. Clay Terran's murderer, Athena Sykes. Athena?
Now, hold on just one moment. I can't let you give in to a demand like that.
So you don't care what happens to these hostages, huh? I'll just pick one out then.
No, wait, Mr. Lawyer. I know I have absolutely no right to make such a ridiculous request, but she thinks Athena killed her mom. But you need me to buy some time, right? Got it? I'll see what I can do, but promise me. Promise me you'll never hand Athena over, and you won't give up on the hostages either. Of course I won't. Now I'd better go contact headquarters.
Mr. Nick, how do you plan to buy time?
I have no idea yet. But this hostage taker, could it be? It's gotta be Aura, right?
If you don't bring me that little princess, I'll have Hunk of Junk kill all the hostages.
Yeah, okay. Princess? Hunk of junk? There's only one person this could be. Aura is on a trip right now. In which case, there must be something I can use as a bargaining chip. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you go home and play with your dolls? Prosecutor Blackwell.
Even if you don't, I have plenty, you jerk. Miss Hostage Taker, Athena's not a murderer.
What are you talking about? She's been arrested and they've got her in detention.
I'm telling you the truth. Look at the person you want is the real killer, right? Well, it's not Athena, it's someone else. Don't kill her, Aura. Your brother's gonna die. Those two correlate somehow.
Alright, let's hear your stupid little theory. Who is this real killer?
I don't know yet, but the culprit is the same as the one in the case from 7 years ago. The UR1 incident. I believe you have a personal interest in that case?
It's too late to change what's going to happen now, no matter how wrong it is.
But is it really too late? You can still do something about it. You might even be able to fix it.
Just what exactly are you proposing?
What can I do about the 7-year-old case to satisfy the hostage taker? Recreate it, retry it in court, ask about it. We could retry it in court. And bro, I swear, if that was curtailed only 5 pounds. I propose we retry the case from 7 years ago. If you make that demand now, I'm sure nobody will deny you. It wouldn't be an official trial, but at least we could find out the truth.
Heh heh heh. Ha 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 ha. That's good. Real good. Hey, detective, I'll give you 1 hour. Get a courtroom ready.
1 hour? But that's impossible. Please give me at least until tomorrow.
If you don't mind losing hostages, you can take all the time you want. Oh, but wait. If we're going to have a retrial, we'll need a prosecutor. Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
Oh? She will?
And I guess I can be fair and let you come in and check out the crime scene. But Hunk of Junk here will be watching you, so don't try anything funny. You got that? Now follow Hunk of Junk. Riot police, make way. We're coming through. Mr. Nick, wait. We'll help you with the investigation.
Thanks, Pearls. I appreciate that. Okay, we're going in. Laura dropped us off with a warning not to touch anything until she got back. Apollo sees Athena as the only possible suspect because he can't imagine Clay as a suspect. We solved it.
I wonder what's taking so long. But we can't really start the investigation yet, can we?
Even if we could, this mess makes it hard to tell what the room was like 7 years ago.
Mr. Wright?
It's the hostage taker.
I'm back to my usual self now. You are still being monitored, however. But more importantly, an important guest has arrived.
Oh? Guest? Oh, cutscene? No, let's go! Let's go! Oh my god. It's been so long. Oh my god! It's him! Oh my god! I was joking!
I trust you've been well, Wright.
Oh my god, it's him and he's got glasses! Oh, I've missed him so much! My heart. Edgeworth, what are you doing here? This is Miles Edgeworth. We've been friends since we were kids. We faced off in court a number of times back when he was a prosecutor. But now... oh...
Hello, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, but you're not a prosecutor anymore, are you?
He's chief prosecutor now. Pretty soon, it'll be a year, right? I love Clavier. Clavier's great. Blackwell is the best prosecutor in my opinion, followed by Clavier and Franzi.
All the prosecutors are pretty epic. A title is nothing more than a title. Oh, it's been so long since I've done his voice, I don't remember. A title is nothing more than a title. Don't we have more pressing issues to discuss? So, what are you doing here, Edgeworth? The captor chose me as the prosecutor for the UR1 case. I'm jumping up and down right now, I'm giddy. Wow, she's good. She went all the way up to the top. I gathered all the information I could in the short time that I had. I'll give you a rundown. Miles Edgeworth, age 34, the chief prosecutor. He's an old friend and a former prosecutor against whom I fought many courtroom battles. Aw. I'll give you a rundown.
You're always so well prepared, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Thanks. I appreciate this. I could really use the help. So, what are you doing here, Edgeworth? Wait, oh, we did this. Did I click the same thing? It actually is NK. Everyone's showing up. I'll start with a brief overview. The victim was the psychologist Dr. Metis Sykes. Yeah, Athena's mother. 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, her body was found here in this very room. I have 2 crime photos and the police notes on them for you to see. 1 second. Smash ultimate reveal at the end. Everyone is here. Okay, there she is. One sec.
Oh, what a terrible way to die.
The other photo shows the other side of the room, I see. I also have the autopsy report for you. Thank you. Cause of death was a stab wound to the chest. The weapon pierced the heart, and so death was instantaneous. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana, found at the scene. Yeah, Detective Fulbright mentioned she was into Japanese culture. The body was found by a Space Center staff member and 2 police officers. The police were called in because of the sabotage threat on the Hat 1 launch. Yeah, Director Cosmos mentioned this too. A few hours after the body was discovered, a suspect was arrested. The suspect was Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor. I hear his trial was over in a flash. Yes, a guilty verdict was declared in only 1 session. Not only did he plead guilty, but there was decisive evidence against him too. He pleaded guilty. The security camera video, and a photo of the moment of the crime, as I recall.
But did Prosecutor Blackwell have a motive?
To this day, his motive is still unknown. He insisted he did, but he would never say why. So that means he must still be hiding something. Right, and there's another aspect of the case that was never revealed to the public. Yeah, I know. The part about the spy, right? Right! How on earth do you know about that? Director Cosmos told me, after a bit of pressure. He told me espionage and sabotage were behind the Hat 1 miracle.
Don't worry. I won't tell anyone. I've always been good at keeping secrets.
Well, I might as well tell you now. They really do suspect Blackwell of being a spy. They think he sabotaged the rocket and killed Dr. Sykes to steal the moon rock. But if you can prove that the Hat 2 bombing is the work of the same spy, we can stay the execution? It's a possibility. That's why I intend to help you any way I can. Thanks, Edgeworth. All I have to do is comb this room for evidence.
Let's do it together!
Oh, and we'll do that. We will do that. Tomorrow, what was that? We will do that tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Kiss me. No, cat, you can't do this to me. I know, I don't want to, but it is 100 degrees Fahrenheit right now. It is, I am boiling. I need to rest. I need to relax. I need to cool down. Tomorrow night I need to sleep early. I have my maths test. Oh, I'm so sorry. I won't, listen. If you can't make it tomorrow, at the time I stream, I'll stream something else, just for you. I'll stream a different game. Just for you, Matt, so you won't miss it. Kidding. Stream it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. VODs exist. Yeah, they do. I don't even know if we'll finish the case. I don't know how long I would stream tomorrow. I don't even know if I'm going to stream this tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. I'll be smashed that night anyway.